All right, hello everyone. Welcome to You Like That Extra. Isolation sessions again, but not doing solo episodes anymore because fuck that.
Yeah.
This is the weirdest shit ever. I'm going to be giggling the whole time. I was in hospital on Monday and there was a confirmed case there, so I'm considered close contact and we have to isolate. We can't be in the same room.
Yeah.
It's very weird. It's very annoying. And I might get a phone call halfway through this to tell me whether I have coronavirus or not.
Yep. I've tested negative, which is good, and Brooks also tested negative, so hopefully you're also good. They're probably just going to go, yeah, you're negative, but
you still
do
have
not
to
fucking
isolate.
leave the home.
I am praying that's what it is. The tone of this episode might change pretty drastically at the end if that phone call is not what I expect it to be.
Yeah.
This is You Like That Extra. We do random movies that are easily accessible, not new cinema movies that generally have a theme that we want to talk about.
Yes. It's so hard not being able to see you.
I love it. This week, we're doing The Emperor's New Groove, which is an animated film by a man called Mark Dindal from the year 2000. This is one of my earliest cinematic going memories.
Oh, so you saw this in cinema?
I saw this in cinema. It was one of the very early movies I saw in cinemas, or at least that I remember seeing in cinemas.
Yeah, Roger.
Would have been back in Penrith Plaza. Shout out, Penrith Plaza.
I even remember the place.
This movie had a budget of $100 million US. The box office was $169.6 million.
Yep.
This movie was in utter turmoil from day dot. It was originally going to be this huge, dramatic, musical Disney animated movie like you tend to get.
Yep.
They got the Lion King director back. What was his name? Roger Allers. So they got him back to do it.
Good guy.
And they got 6 original songs done by a guy called Sting. If you know the song Roxanne, if you know the song Message in a Bottle, he was in a band called The Police. Halfway through, literally 50% through this movie being done, it got scrapped because test audiences were just like, this is fucking terrible. It's no good.
Fair.
Pretty brutal. So they got rid of Roger Allers, and Mark Dindal was already working on it in some capacity, but he took over the reins. He injected a bunch of comedy into it, and they were like, oh, there's something here, so we'll go with this. Owen Wilson was originally in it. Oh, mate, it was massive.
Oh, wow.
But David Spade was always in it. He was always going to be turned into a llama, but he wasn't going to have a voice. Once he was a llama, he was just a llama. And whoever the buddy was, whoever Pacha was, I don't remember the actor before John Goodman, he was going to fall in love with the love interest, and then there was going to be conflict there. It just sounded like a very weird movie. And
I hate that.
Yeah, it sounded bad.
That does not sound fun at all.
I'm glad they didn't do that.
Yes, very much so.
So anyway, the cast we have now, the movie we have now, David Spade, John Goodman, Eartha Kitt, Patrick Warburton, and Wendy Malick, amongst a bunch of others.
Yep.
The plot: Emperor Kuzco is turned into a llama and cast to the forest by his successor, Yzma, and must find his way back to the throne with the help of local villager Pacha.
Yzma.
85% in the critics, 83% in the audience. People love this movie. Adam, what do you think of this movie?
Mate, this is one of my favourite of all time.
Yep.
In the realm of Disney and animated movies, this one has always been my top shelf pride. It's always been my go-to for just putting it on for a laugh.
Yeah.
And I just love everything about it. And I don't know what it is about it that like sticks out to me the most, like opposed to other movies that we have had in the last 20 years that I've been watching them anyway. It's an easy to follow story. It's not incredibly over the top, but it's just riddled with just such humor, and it's got its heart, it's got its soul, it's got everything it needs to be a good Disney movie.
Yeah.
And I think it just fully delivers on everything. But like it's quotable. I won't say relatable because God, that'd be a fucking weird story to be telling in real life. But it's definitely one of my ultimate favorite Disney movies that I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think it's better off for not having songs. I think it's better not being a musical.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, it definitely doesn't like. It's not so full on with music.
Yeah.
And song and dance
It starts off that way. The intro is that way.
Yeah,
With this big Tom Jones number.
yeah, but you can get away with that of just being just an over the top, intro to a movie.
Yeah.
It's just a better way to do it in a way. And if you nail it like that, then you sort of set the tone and you understand who your main character is that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of just leave it as it is. Don't do him anymore, because then I think with the movie that we've got, had you put too much more music into it, it just would have crumbled and it wouldn't have been a sustainable story.
Yeah, 100%. And I love this animation style too, like the super rubbery, like slapstick.
Yeah.
Like none of it is realistic at all. They can do all the weird, like old Looney Tunes kind of looking stuff with the humor and the physical comedy. And it's just, mate, it's just such a fucking gorgeous movie. Like the matte painting backgrounds, the huge sprawling, mostly empty matte painting backgrounds. Like that's how the Aztecs were, like massive rock structures with just like not a lot in it, but they were massive. They were really spectacular to look at. And like some of them were carved out with this intricate detail, and some of them were just slabs of rock.
Yeah.
And they really nail that with this art style.
Yeah. So, and the weird thing about this movie as well, as you mentioned, this is like the Aztecian time. We're looking at like an Aztec emperor and, a world that we no longer live in. And I feel like it's sort of looked past that. That's the sort of like time zone that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem like it addresses anything in that culture at all.
No, not really.
Opposed to it just being like, there's an emperor that rules everything and a lot of people just live in huts and villages and that's sort of all it is.
Yeah.
It does well to not dive too far into it, but then at the same time it's like, maybe it could have if it wanted to be the Disney plot.
Yeah, I guess, but they're sort of away from all the temples and villages for the whole movie because they're just in a forest.
Yeah.
And then they go to a diner, which is just like a classic American diner.
It seems like it maybe might have been just a little too hard to try and portray to sort of like get kids involved and sort of understand what they were being shown and told.
Yeah, maybe.
And like I think they did well to sort of drive away from that and just go, hey, let's just focus on the llama getting home.
Yeah.
And
keep
that's
it
all
simple,
it is.
stupid.
And it delivers so well and all that. It's just a great story.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and the comedy is so important. Like David Spade, at this time, him and Wendy Malick, they were both from Just Shoot Me, which is a very successful TV sitcom.
Yeah,
very funny TV sitcom, and they're not together much on screen. It's just like an observation that they're from the same show.
Yeah,
but fuck, David Spade is so good in this. Like,
yeah, he's brilliant. Patrick Warburton is just. He's just Patrick Warburton.
It's just infinitely quotable, and like, especially with their voices.
Yeah.
Because it's just their voices, end of the day.
Yeah. He doesn't have to do much because he's just got that voice.
Yeah.
Where you just go, that's Patrick Warburton because it's the Patrick Warburton voice.
Yeah.
You go, hey, Peter.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the guy from Family Guy.
He's so distinct.
You just know it straight away. And then this, Isma. My spinach puffs.
Yeah.
You just know it. It's the same guy.
And Eartha Kitt brings this pantomime, like old Showtimey sort of vibe to it. Like, she is ancient, of course. But, she just, like, without insulting Eartha Kitt, she fits the character so well. Like,
100%.
Just like the humor is so weird because it's like, it's adult in its blunt dryness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there'll just be throwaway lines or even just like the little, like, I hate yous and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I don't think kids appreciate that as much as I do now as a 28-year-old. Like, just all the little blunt stuff is very funny to me.
Yeah.
All the interactions in the diner and stuff. It's so quick and it's so clever and it's just like, it's fucking great. This movie's fucking great, man.
And then you've got John Goodman, who's just such a comforting voice carrying you through this movie.
Oh, he's like a warm drizzle of honey.
He embodies Pacha just to a T.
He really does. He's just the kindest, sweetest man.
Like if you saw John Goodman walking around Hollywood just in a poncho, and a little hat with a llama, you'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
I get that.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just such a humble guy. He's just happy being on his mountaintop village and
even though Cusco is like doing this horrible thing to him, he's still. It's not even reluctantly helping him. He is just helping him because that's who he is as a man.
Yeah.
But like, he's still using it as a bargaining tool because he's smart enough to know that. Yes, he's going to help him either way, but he could get a few schmeckles out of it too.
Yeah, of course. And schmeckles come, schmeckles go. It's just the story of be kind to others, and you'll get rewarded with kindness back.
Yeah,
type of thing. Don't be a dick.
Yeah, pretty much, or you get turned into a talking llama
for it.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, it's just why a llama? Why? Like, I guess this story wouldn't have been as interesting if they just cast human Kuzco out.
Yeah.
But, all the potions and stuff they go through at the end, like when they're all turning into animals and the security.
Okay, so you had a lineup of what you could choose from.
Yeah.
But the llama's what stuck the landing.
It's probably the funniest.
Definitely the funniest. I think it also just fits the time that they're in, and being in the villagey mountaintop area. Yeah, you'd probably see a lot more llamas than anything, so it probably seems more relatable to the culture.
Yeah.
Than anything. But it does. It just fits so much, just so well.
And another that funny dry humor is when the security guards all get turned into animals.
Yeah.
And the one's just like, I got turned into a cow. Like, can I go home now?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. Anyone else? And they're all like,
no, we're good. We're good. Yeah, I like
that's
this.
Just so fucking funny, and I don't know why a kid would find that funny, but I was rolling yesterday when I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so funny.
It's an absolute treat. Did you ever play the PS1 game?
I was about to bring up the PS1
yes.
game. An incredibly good licensed tie-in PS1 game.
Yes.
Fantastic game. This and Monsters Inc. both had great games.
Monsters Inc. was just something else.
Yeah, Toy Story 2 had a really good one as well.
Yeah. Man, movie video games used to be the shit.
Yeah, they used to be fantastic.
Now they just get brought down in the dirt if you're lucky to get one.
If anything, yeah. If anything. They usually don't bother anymore.
Any movie that came out, you'd know there'd be a video game coming.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, fuck yeah, I wonder how...
Especially a Disney movie. Oh, dude, the 2D Hercules PS1 platformer.
Yes, it was one of my first remembrance of playing PS1 was that Hercules game.
Unreal.
That, yep, spent a lot of hours on that one. Never finished it because I never did as a kid.
Oh, no, they were too hard.
Yeah.
Games were a lot harder back then.
Yeah, they required skill. Something you don't need very much these days is turn the difficulty down and then it plays the game for you.
Yeah, exactly. So this movie, it really just starts at go and then, just keeps going, really. There's no, the heroes get broken apart every now and then.
Yeah.
But mostly they're just on their journey. And, Yzma and Kronk nearly catch up to them, and then they do catch up to them, and then it's all just, they're just back at the village, pretty much.
Yeah.
At the temple, sorry.
It's just another funny cat and mouse game.
Yeah, exactly. It's just that really old school method of telling a chase story. You know, there's not a big dramatic chase at all. It's just here they are, here they were, here they're going to be,
Yeah.
And it's just, and they play with that, when they go to the big outer map and then they look down in the real world and there's the tracking dots behind them as well.
Yeah.
God, it's so funny.
So well done. It's just well done.
And you get a bit of the narrating, David Spade narrating it over himself.
Yeah.
Which I usually hate, which is weird because this is the first example of that happening I can think of. I remember seeing, but I usually hate that in movies.
Yeah.
Shout out Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Go and fuck yourself. That movie can go and fuck itself. It's a terrible fucking movie and I don't get it. But yeah, and there's some funny lines in that too, scribbling over Patra and whatnot.
Yeah. No, it does a good cut because obviously, the movie starts halfway through, as a lot of movie tropes like to do these days.
Yeah.
But then it's when it gets back up to that point through the movie and then it catches up and, David Spade's doing the narration and then he's talking to himself as the llama. And you're just that's clever. I like that.
Yeah, it's not a lot of pointing out that he is a llama either. He's still just on this journey. Every now and then he'll be this is challenging because I'm a llama. But mostly he's just doing the normal journey.
Yeah, he's just going with it.
But he just happens to be a llama as well.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be the most comfortable thing, but hey, there's worse things you could be.
Yeah, I suppose. But and then they get to the end. Yzma is defeated by turning into a little cat.
Yep.
That's the director's voice, by the way. It's not Eartha Kitt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's for some reason the director was I'll do this funny high voice, and then auto-tune it up even
Yeah,
higher.
well, I mean, when you're directing an animation movie, it's sort of like, the fuck else are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, I watched Django Unchained today, and Quentin Tarantino puts himself in that in an Australian accent, and he can't do an Australian accent.
Yeah, it's
What a
just
strange choice, Quentin.
very strange. But
So vain.
But what a great movie, though.
Great movie. Yeah, and then it's all good at the end. There's a big message of family, I guess, because Cusco's very young. It's mentioned he's only like 17 or something.
Yeah, no,
He doesn't really have a family except Yzma.
Yeah, I think it was the start of it. It's his 18th birthday.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Yzma sucks, so of course you don't want her as your family.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, it's just not ideal. Which reminds me, I love that scene when he's gone to dinner, like when they're planning to turn him into a llama.
Yeah.
And Crunk goes to get the food and that, and he's just like, so, he seems nice.
Yeah.
He is.
Like-
What is he in his late 20s? I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
It's like such an awkward, like,
Implying they're dating.
yeah. It's just like, that one's for the adults, and like, I never got what that was about.
I never would have gotten that.
As a kid, and I'm just like, now when I watched it the other day, I'm like, he thinks they're fucking.
Yeah, and when he's talking about like how there's no industry for someone her age with her qualifications anymore,
Yeah,
it's like that's so dumb, but fuck, it's funny.
yeah. It's just that's when it becomes relatable, when you're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
So
cougars out there.
It is infinitely rewatchable. It's infinitely quotable, and yeah, it's probably the best Disney movie. One of the best Disney movies, I reckon.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think it holds up to today's
Oh, it
standards.
absolutely holds up. Yeah,
I feel like you definitely can go and watch this now if you haven't seen it.
yeah.
Before-
I would recommend watching it again. 100%.
Yeah, even if you haven't watched it in a long time, go back and watch it. Disney Plus, log in. There it is.
Yeah,
Ready
it's
to
so
go.
good. It's so good.
It's so worth the watch.
So yeah, that's The Emperor's New Groove. That's the separate. You like that extra, but also not separate
Yeah,
for this week.
it's just so weird.
Depending on what my COVID result is, we might have to keep doing this, but maybe we'll be back on the couch for the main show
Possibly
this week. Go
Would
down
be-
to the bio. There's a
would be
link
great.
tree there. That'll take you everywhere you need to go. Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, whatever you listen to us on, we're there. And if you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. That's very important. If you want to get some merch, you like that podcast.store. Adam's chucked some new stuff up there.
There are some tank tops. There
Yeah.
are some stickers.
Hell yeah.
That's about it.
Oh, good.
Our supplier is still out of stock of a lot of sizes, so choice is limited.
Yeah, the
But if that
parcel
may-
freeze in New South Wales has stopped too.
Yeah, so
Thank fuck.
if it's a means to get out and lose some weight, hey, I'm glad we can help you with that.
Indeed.
Basically.
Find us on Instagram. Find us everywhere on the internet you want to find us. The main show this week, we don't know what we're doing yet, but it will be something.
Something is in the pipeline.
So we'll
Gotta
see you on
figure it out.
Spotify on Sunday and YouTube on Tuesday for that. We didn't introduce ourselves again.
Wow.
So during this entire episode and all of the episodes of both the main show and
Yeah.
the extra,
Yeah.
my name has and will continue to be Jack.
Well, goddamn.
I am one half of You Like That Extra.
And following along what Jack said, at most points of this episode, I was Adam. At one point, I might have drifted off and became someone else. But up until this point, I've come back around to be myself again, to close this out and say, my name is now Adam, and I've also been the other half of the You Like That Extra podcast.
We'll see you on the main show, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.